Listen to me, the Mamba mentality starts with discipline, not motivation. Motivation is emotional, it comes and goes. You feel good today, you're fired up, you watched a video, you're ready to conquer the world. But what happens tomorrow morning when that feeling is gone? What happens when it's cold, when you're tired, when nobody is clapping for you? That's where discipline steps in. Discipline says, I'm doing it anyway. Discipline says, I don't need to feel like it to do it. See, everybody wants the reward, but very few want the routine. Everybody wants to be great, but not everybody wants to wake up early, sacrifice comfort, and stay consistent when it's boring. The Mamba mentality is built in those quiet moments when nobody's watching, when there's no camera, no crowd, no validation. You show up because excellence is your standard, not because someone is cheering you on. Discipline is choosing the long road when shortcuts are right there. It's saying no to distractions so you can say yes to your destiny. It's training when you're sore, studying when you're exhausted, and preparing when others are resting. That's the separation. Average people wait to feel inspired. Great people move with purpose, even when they're drained. And let me be clear, discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. When you discipline your habits, you free your future. When you discipline your time, you take control of your life. When you discipline your mind, excuses lose their power. You stop negotiating with weakness and you start operating from commitment. The Mamba mentality doesn't ask, how do I feel today? It asks, what needs to be done, rain or shine? Win or lose, up or down, you do the work because that's who you are. You don't need reminders. You don't need motivation speeches every day. You've already decided, and that's the difference. Once you decide, there's no debate. You don't wait for perfect conditions because discipline creates consistency, and consistency creates confidence. You don't chase motivation, you build habits so strong that even on your worst day, you're still better than most people on their best day. So if you want the Mamba mentality, stop waiting to feel ready. Be disciplined enough to move when it's uncomfortable. Be committed enough to work when it's lonely, because at the end of the day, discipline is what turns potential into performance, and that's how greatness is built. Let me tell you something. The Mamba mentality is obsessed with progress, not perfection. It's not about being better than everybody else tomorrow. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. 1% better, one adjustment, one extra rep, one more page, one more uncomfortable step forward. That's how legends are made. Most people wait for a big moment to change their life, but a Mamba knows the secret is in the daily grind. You don't wake up great, you earn it piece by piece. Every single day you ask yourself, asterisk, what can I improve right now? Asterisk, not when it's convenient, not when it's easy, right now, because time doesn't reward intentions, it rewards action. See, greatness is built in details. It's in how you practice, how you prepare, how you recover, how you study your mistakes. While others are just showing up, you're sharpening your craft. While others are satisfied with good enough, you're hunting for what's next. That obsession separates elite from average. And here's the truth. Some days the improvement feels small. Some days it feels invisible. But a Mamba understands that consistency compounds. What you do daily becomes who you are permanently. Miss one day and it feels small. Miss a week and you've started a habit of quitting. But stack days on days, effort on effort, focus on focus, and suddenly people call it talent. The Mamba mentality doesn't allow comfort to become a ceiling. The moment you get comfortable is the moment you stop growing. So you challenge yourself, you raise the standard. You ask more from yourself than anyone else ever will. Not because you're never satisfied, but because you respect your potential too much to waste it. And don't get it twisted, daily improvement requires humility. You have to be willing to admit you're not there yet. You have to study your weaknesses without ego. You have to learn from losses without excuses. A Mamba doesn't hide from flaws, they attack them. So, if you want the Mamba mentality, stop chasing overnight success, fall in love with the process, fall in love with the work nobody sees, get a little better today than you were yesterday, then do it again tomorrow, and again, and again. Because when improvement becomes your lifestyle, greatness becomes inevitable. Let me be real with you, the Mamba mentality is built for pressure. It doesn't run from pain, it doesn't panic when things get hard, and it doesn't fold when the odds are stacked against you. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the test that reveals who you really are. And a Mamba shows up when everything is on the line. See, everybody is confident when life is easy. Everybody talks tough when they're winning. But what about when you're hurting? What about when you're exhausted, doubted, counted out, and still expected to perform? That's where mental toughness lies. That's where the Mamba mentality separates itself from the rest. Pain is part of the process. Let that sink in. If you're trying to grow without pain, you're trying to grow without resistance, and that's impossible. A Mamba understands that pain is information. It's teaching you how far you can go, how strong you really are, and how much more you've got left when you think you're done. Most people stop at discomfort. A Mamba pushes through it. When the moment gets heavy, you don't get emotional, you get focused. You control your breathing. You control your thoughts. You control your effort. You don't allow fear to take the wheel because fear clouds judgment. Instead, you lock in on the fundamentals, one play, one move, one decision at a time. That's how you perform under pressure. Mental toughness is staying disciplined when chaos surrounds you. It's staying confident when the scoreboard isn't in your favor. It's staying committed when quitting would be the easiest option. A Mamba doesn't need perfect conditions. Adaptation is the skill. You adjust, you respond, and you keep moving forward. And understand this adversity is not a setback, it's preparation. Every hard moment is training you for something bigger. Every failure is sharpening your mindset. Every loss is building your resilience. What breaks others is building you, so if you want the Mamba mentality, stop asking for the load to be lighter. Ask for your mind to be stronger. Embrace the pressure, welcome the pain. Because when the moment demands everything you've got, a true Mamba doesn't rise to the occasion. They rise to the level of their preparation. Let me close it like this. The Mamba mentality is personal. It's not about beating everybody else. It's about mastering yourself. The real competition isn't the people around you. It's the version of you that wants to be comfortable, the version that wants excuses, the version that wants to quit when it gets hard. That's the opponent you've got to defeat every single day. See, when you compete with the crowd, you get distracted. You start chasing applause, likes, validation, and comparison. You look left, you look right, and suddenly you forget your own lane. But a Mamba stays locked in, eyes forward, head down, work up. The standard is internal, not external. The only question that matters at the end of the day is this. Asterisk, did I give everything I had? Asterisk, not did I win? Not did they notice, not did it look good on social media. Did you empty the tank? Did you honor your potential? Did you show up as your best self when it mattered? Competing with yourself means raising your own bar. It means yesterday's best is today's baseline. No excuses, no entitlement, no coasting. You don't let success make you soft, and you don't let failure make you small. You evaluate, you adjust, and you come back stronger. A Mamba doesn't wait for permission to be great. You don't need approval. You don't need comparison. You already know what you're capable of, and that's enough pressure to keep you pushing. When nobody's watching, you still work. When nobody's clapping, you still grind. Because integrity is doing the right thing even when there's no reward attached. So if you want the Mamba mentality, stop measuring yourself against other people's highlights. Measure yourself against your own potential. Chase your own standard, break your own limits, because when you win the battle within, no outside competition can stop you.